Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. I'm here with my brothers Armstrong and Jaquari Armstrong. We got a special guest tonight, Corey Thompson. We welcome you, brother. I'm going to get the introductions out of the way. And then we'll do some housekeeping, and then we're going to go from there, okay? Jaquari, let's start with you, brother. How was your day today?
My day was regular, man. Ain't nothing special happened. You know, that's generally the way I like them to be. No bumps in the road. And I manage my course.
Okay. Okay. Well, look at you trying to be all whatever. I got you, though. Damon, how you, brother?
Hell, my day was good, man. You know, any day I can spend with my grandbaby, man, is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? She showed me something new every day. And it keeps me humble, man. Okay. So I had a great day.
Cool. Corey, how you, brother? How was your day today?
I'm well. Day was full of surprises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you'll
but manageable, like Jaquari said.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, the plot thickens.
It always does, boy. It started early too. That's what I like.
The plot thickens. It's gonna be a good day, y'all.
In a minute, he gonna be like, dig what these motherfuckers tried to do.
All right, Corey. So what we're gonna do? Let me get some housekeeping out of the way, and then
My bad.
I want you to let us all know.
Yeah.
Who you are. All right.
No doubt.
Scrolling down at the bottom of the screen, Strong Perspective Podcast. We're on YouTube. Make sure you go like, share, and subscribe. Especially like and subscribe to it, because we want what our goal is. The people who need to hear us have conversations. We need to reach it. So we're trying to push our way towards it, and I think we're going to accomplish that. You know what I mean? So other than that, Mr. Thompson, let the people know.
Corey Thompson, Photoleer, Brooklyn born, I-95 raised, father of one, daughter named Coltrane, war veteran, photographer. Yeah, it's a bunch. Other shit will come out as we actually talk, but
No. You just like your man Mullins. Like, yeah.
I'm not too good to talk about myself, man.
Hold on. The night before we told both y'all, you got to at least have an opening monologue, because we got the rest of it. We got you. You know what I'm saying, brother?
No doubt.
But you need your opening monologue. So let's touch on your opening monologue. Talk about Photoleer. What is Photoleer? What is it? To let everybody know what it is.
Photoleer actually started. One day I was actually going to buy a TV for the Super Bowl, and at the time my ex, she was like, "Yo, you always wanted to start your own photography company. Why are you buying the TV to watch the Super Bowl? Why don't you buy a camera?" So that was the first thing. But it all started when I was in the military, and I would actually take pictures, but I didn't know what I was actually shooting, right? But I just know that I could see things. So I would start shooting that way. But I lost my job, and then I was standing in line with everybody else at like a job fair. And I was like, yo, fuck all that. It started out to be black eye photography, a perspective from a black eye. You know what I mean? And a buddy of mine, Lear is like my tag name.
Okay.
And a buddy of mine actually put it to two of them together. And then from there, I just rolled with it. It's like, I got like 19 names, Corey, Photoleer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's just about the moment. And Photoleer, for me, is always about the moment. So if I can actually create a moment with that camera, you damn right I'm about to do that.
That's real. That's Real. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the young one, man. Your queen. Talk about her.
My daughter?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably got two queens, but we talking about. Let's start with the daughter first.
Okay. Um, yeah, my daughter Coltrane, she just like everything. Like I'm the
That's,
man I am, not
I'm sorry
only
to
because
interrupt.
of
That's a hell of a name right there, brother.
Right. I was
thanks,
just thinking
man.
the
Thanks,
same thing.
You didn't
Man,
give me that.
thanks,
oh,
man. I appreciate that.
I always knew, but to hear you say it, I'm like, okay, okay. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, bro.
No, no, no. This is what this is. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's everything. She introduced me to therapy. She introduced me to the understanding of abandonment. She introduced me to her being a child, and then me being a father, and then when she gets older, I've become a parent. So it's a lot that she is like to me because at the end of the day, I was missing a lot of things because of how I was raised. Like you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't even looking at those things. I was just coming through the life with the age thing, like pop, 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 pop. Okay, I'm 25. This I'm a rock. Pop, 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 pop. Nah, that's not how shit. And it wasn't until she came that I realized a lot of things about me um, that I may have put out on other people or things. It was me, like watching her, like what I don't know, like gave me the ability to be where I am today, and in my understanding and my empathy and my love for people. Like,
Okay. Okay. All
I
right.
found, man, when I became a parent, I shed a lot of embarrassment and shame,
yes,
man, because I had to present things in a certain way to my daughter, to my daughter to keep her from
yeah,
being, victimized potentially. You know what I mean? So, daddy,
that's
being
real.
a daddy is not an easy job if you're doing it right, man. It's really not.
And it's funny, like you said that I love what you just said because it's hard being a dad when you don't know how to be one. You know what I mean? You haven't got the tutelage or the tools to actually do it. We live in these things called era pockets. So if you live in like a certain era, like health, um, if I come from a certain environment and that environment is always just, it's lacking love, it's lacking all this different stuff. How the fuck am I supposed to actually know how to do that for anybody else if no, I haven't been taught that? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, not even just black people, a lot of us, like, we don't even understand what abandonment is. Like, you know what I'm saying? We could be on this podcast right now. Somebody might want to be on this podcast, but because they're not on it, they might feel left out. That's a form of abandonment. Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like we live with these life cycles, and I don't know if I'm going too far off. So big dog, grab me if I do.
No,
But we live in these life cycles or pockets where we don't really understand who we are as individuals, but we live in this society and move in it, but not as individuals. Does that make sense? Because it's almost like
Thank
you, depending on what situation or area you're in, you throw that mask on or take that mask off. Like, you know what I'm saying?
okay.
So you
Okay.
never get to live in that like authenticity of the individual.
Okay. Okay. Look. You just hit
God
us
for
with some
hindsight.
heavy shit. Let us respond to it.
Yeah,
Jaquari, what do
Nah,
you think?
I just said, if that's your approach, man, you got to thank God for hindsight, man. Seriously, and the capacity to learn from, your missteps,
yeah.
and hopefully, you're a rational enough human being to, take
Mm.
note of your fuck ups and learn from them, man. That's a big theme of mine, man. It- you really, at this point in my life, if I make the same mistake twice, then I really got to pull back from whatever situation it is and evaluate things, man, seriously, because just being a functioning person in society, man, you know, you got to pick up on things, man. You have to pick up on things. You know, it's some people in the world who, you know, in certain situations that they can't take hints. They fail to read the room all the time.
Mm.
You know,
Gotcha.
and those are some of the more unhappy people that I know.
Yeah.
Damon,
Shit, I feel to do that sometimes.
of course, it's being human. Damon, what you think, brother?
You know what? How I feel about the whole situation, man, is wisdom comes with age, man, and experience, like y'all spoke of. And I think what most people lose themselves, man, is not recognizing themselves. You know what I'm saying? You comfortable in the room when you know what your faults are, what your mistakes are. You understand what I'm saying? You get it, you know, and when you present yourself in that room, it's coming from a genuine place.
Yeah.
You know, you know, how many cats y'all know, man, start their day off with recognizing their humility, man, and their humanity. You know what I'm saying? And if you start off with that thought process, you're not going out to harm. You're going out to be recognized.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then when you're coming from that space, people recognize who you are because it's genuine. You know what I'm saying? People's biggest fear is, man, is not fitting in, peer pressure, and thinking that they don't matter.
Yeah.
You know. But if you focus it on yourself and if you have that focus on yourself, you comfortable with it because you come into an understanding and a conclusion about who you are and what you mean to this world. And you're
Yeah.
not deviating, you know,
Purpose.
right.
Yeah.
You understand that you have purpose.
Yeah.
You know. So
Okay.
That
and I
shit took
speak
me for 40 years to figure that out. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
most of us, man, we don't figure that we don't start figuring out until at least our mid-30s.
I mean, it's that's the way it is, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know,
I'm gonna
you
tell
get
you,
it.
I'm gonna tell you that the crazy thing, and this is my thinking on it all the time is, you know, you're taking steps toward what you're trying to do. Like all of us have different perspectives of what that question was, right? That you brought up, Corey. But the one thing that a lot of times we don't see is they're all linked. They're part of the same answer. You know what I mean? You know how? Let me put it like this because see, I just listened to the three of you, right? You had different perspectives about it, but you didn't disagree. But you saw from your window view, right? You know, and I think it's more like, you know, that little joke that used to come around with, hey, we in the same book, but you in chapter 1, I'm in chapter 10.
yeah.
You feel me?
That's a great fucking analogy
You
right
read
there.
you
But
read
that's how I look at life. Big
it's the
dog. Yeah.
same book, bro. It's the same book. But see, you know, a lot of times, and y'all let me know if y'all what y'all think about this. A lot of times, if it don't sound the same, even though it's familiar to you, but if it don't sound the same, you make the choice to disagree with it until it starts to sound familiar to you. Like with my brothers, I'm not gonna get too intricate with it. Just simplify it. With my brothers, if we have a heated discussion, I'll say to them, "I agree with you. We in the same ballpark. It's just you're a little bit ahead of me in what I'm saying. You feel me? You're a little
That's
bit
real.
ahead of me because guess what? It's easier. Then we're gonna move on. But it's easier unless I want to comment. It's easier to disagree than agree with somebody. When you have strong mind, it's easier to disagree with that person to agree with them. Like, yo, hey man, yeah, you make a point, but how many times you heard that in your life? Oh yeah. That's true, but damn, we saying the same thing.
Yeah, but it all depends on how much you're being challenged, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my point, though. Now, okay, now I'm glad you said that because you and I had a conversation a while ago, Damon, when I said every piece of information you have, you shouldn't speak on it as a challenge. When you giving it to somebody, give it to them. Don't expect a challenge because you already know. You're already convinced. It's not your job to convince somebody. It's your job to plant the seed. You plant the seed. They hear it.
They'll get it when they get it.
Yeah. But they heard it from you. And guess what? As soon as they get it, if they ever get it, your face is going to pop into their mind.
Or they're going to say, I heard this from somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like, I think the most honest thing you could do when you're with somebody is be who you are, regardless of how they actually end up taking it. Because when they walk away from you and they're spending time with themselves, they have the most honest depiction of you, right? So they can actually really assess the situation. But if I give you half of what the fuck I am, and then all of a sudden, are we supposed to person?
Okay. What'd you say?
Nope, go ahead, bro.
I give you half of what I am, if I give you half of what I am, and then the expectation's too high when you actually give half. That's all for me. Like,
y'all know what the most difficult thing for me was.
Hold on for 1 second, Damon. Let Corey. What would you say?
Go ahead.
You have to police your expectation of others, though, man. I mean, personally, man, you know, I've gotten into the habit of just, you know, what we do in here. I hear a motherfucker out. You know, I don't decide at the onset of the conversation whether or not I disagree or not. I like to, you know. I'll give a person, you know, a shot to sway me. You know, because that's only gonna open them up more when I present my side.
Yeah.
You know, it's if we really want, you know, equal treatment, you know, with each other, then we're gonna have to extend ourselves to understand that, you know, this is not, you know, it's not a fight, it's a conversation at this point.
Oh, no doubt. The dialogue versus the argument. Like people automatically think that because somebody disagree with you, for me, that's a dialogue for us to actually talk. I remember being at an event and I heard this girl going off at the what is his name, man? Cornell West event. And she was in the back and she was just going crazy. I heard this at such and such college, blah, 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 blah. But immediately I became interested in why she felt like that, right? And it's only because I read the Cornell West Reader and I had to have a dictionary and a fucking thesaurus to even understand what the fuck I was reading, yo. Like, so the fact that she had to, you know, and for me at that particular time, there's many people, as all of us, that were in the place that some of us are trying to get in the understanding, because the understanding is where the peace is. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When you understand how this room moves, and you know that you're not a part of it, but you're actually to empathize and understand, it becomes peaceful to you. Because there's 3 or 4 of those people in the room that actually want to talk to Jakari or Damon or Keith or motherfucking Photoleer. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you're doing exactly what OFAFO is. One for all for one. So I don't give a fuck if it's a whole room of people or it's one person. You've now done your job as Big Dog does and you guys do with this show. Each time that you guys come on here and actually have these conversations like we having tonight, it opens us up afterwards when we actually go off to our families, to our jobs, to our everything, to another perspective. So that day you might actually wake up and you're not feeling it, but that conversation last night gave you another perspective to where, okay, I didn't get my coffee last night. I might not have got no ass last night. You know what I mean? So I'm good now. Yeah. I talked to brothers that actually went through the same thing I did. Me growing up, I never really shared a lot with people because I felt like I was the only one going through what the fuck I was going through.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us do that. Like, and it's, you know, for me, it's disheartening. Like talking to you guys the other night, Dame and Nut Nature, Jakari, Fisher, what you call them. Like, I never had that element of everybody until now when I talk to my brothers. They're so different than I am. You know what I mean? And this is something that I think Damon said he got teased for. I got teased for this shit for my whole life. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's who I always was. But I always was assimilating. It's like almost like a child who comes from another country. Gotcha. As soon as they get here, they was like, yo, what the fuck are you, black or white? And they're going to say, I'm with the white people. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they're going to run with them.
Yeah.
So we assimilate to what we...
Hey, Damon, you had a thought. You know, I know you're old. Do you remember that thought?
I remember that, but you know, I'm having thoughts, man. I want to address a lot of things, but right now, you know, I'm good with listening.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is a left brain brother right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, listen. Corey, we get back to you. I'm gonna let you marinate, Damon. You're gonna be first up. But what we always do, we acknowledge our viewers in the comments. Right? So right now, Shannon Collins, what's up, my brother? Great barber. Y'all, hey, look, in the Raleigh area, go to Creative Cuts. It's off of Lewisburg Road. Check it out. Google that shit.
There we go.
Great barbers there. Make sure you go in and do what you got to do. DeMo, what up, brother? DeMo, past, you know, a young and past guest on the show. Good brother also. What's going on, man? Yeah, you right. We vibing. You know what I mean? And then I don't say the name, but I always read the comments because they don't want me to say the name, even though the name is sitting up in the damn comments. But this sister says most of us don't face our issues until we absolutely have to, and usually because someone we love is dealing with a similar situation. As we are helping them to solve their problems, the light bulb comes on and we speak from our own experiences. And that's when the hearing begins.
Yep.
That's deep.
I agree with that 100%. That's why Strong Perspectives is a needed show. Every podcast that we actually do out here, I think I asked you guys this question the other day, right? We're in an era right now where a pandemic, race, it's so much shit that nobody really understands. But at the same time, I go into banks, I go into grocery stores. You go into the neighborhood grocery store, everybody in that bitch is black, the manager's white. Are we really dealing with the problems, or are we just actually surfacing shit? Like, you know what I mean? And this ain't no question of me like jumping out there and being angry and all this other shit. This is just me being a human being and visually seeing and experiencing things that probably are talked about. Because again, I don't ever want to discredit anybody and what they're doing. I don't know enough out here, but at the end of the day, it's just my 24 hours of observation, right? And in that motherfucker, it's some ugly shit that's going on. Still, it's super small. It ain't on no political level, but it's super small. It's in retail. It's in the whole nine. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that element is still there. So you got the small economy, you got inflation, you got all this shit, and then still, you hearing at your job, you ain't working fast enough.
Yeah.
That motherfucker didn't do.
But you know where that comes from? Pressure from above, and small-minded people.
But see, you know what that, right, and where that comes from, man, is the element of the atmosphere that we live in this country. When we talk about capitalism, you know what I'm saying? Everybody feels like they have to be better than the next man to make it in life. You know what I'm saying? So what are they looking for? They're looking for that man's weakness or that woman's weakness. and try to capitalize on it. And that's, you know what I'm saying? And that's normalized, man. You know what I'm saying? And you become desensitized towards it. It's like that, you
I think
know.
an even more practical answer is, man, you know, throughout all four of our work histories, man, honestly, when have you ever seen a black man who was trained for upper management? We're not trained for upper management. We're
but we
middle of the
train
road at best.
for upper management.
Wait. How many supervisors have you had in your work history, Keith? Trained.
Say what now? Because you know I'm coming from law enforcement, brother. So ask me
How
that question again.
how many people who ended up being in charge of your daily movements throughout the day were you responsible for training?
Me and you are saying the same thing. You said that black folks earlier. You said black men and women are not trained to be in the supervisory positions, right? But
Yeah.
you just said it. We have trained people to be supervisors. So we don't need to be trained. We just need a chance. And basically what the all four of us are addressing to me, this is my little piece of it, my window, is we are addressing the power structure
Yes.
of the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I ain't even addressing it like I can change it or I got the answer or anything. I'm saying every one of us walk in a grocery store. When you walk in that grocery store or that bank, there is no white person. And again, this is just me asking the question to the viewers, to my brothers that's actually sitting here. When you go into a spot, does anybody actually pay attention to that? Because every time I go into a spot, there is a security officer with the 40, the ACG Nikes on and the uniform, and they at the door protecting the whatchamacallit. And if there's a white dude doing it or a white girl doing it, they got the same uniform on because they probably came from the same neighborhood.
Gotcha.
So at the end of the day, like, you know, I want to actually address something Jakari just said, because I think that's key right there. And again, this is to help. This is like the show is. This is strong perspectives. You can have your own perspective. None of us are sitting on this show telling you you wrong, you right, you any of that shit. This is just coming from us.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm at a job and a manager or a general manager comes to me and actually say, "Cool, we want you to train this person to be your manager," my logical brain says, "Nigga, run." They ask you to do some shit that just it is not logical. Come on.
It's not.
How the fuck I ain't get the offer first before I train this nigga to actually be in charge of me?
But you know
It
what?
goes against you. It goes against your daily purpose, man.
Because
you know
what your worth is, right? But also you got to throw in, if you don't work, you don't eat. You got to throw that house music in there. If you don't work, you don't eat. You know what I'm saying? And it is a lazy thing, and it's because what ended up happening is, man, and this is my point of view to it, is if I'm training you. So, and just for my work, what I did, right? You're gonna have to save me one day. That's how I train. Where
you have to say it.
You're gonna have to save me one day. Save my. That's how I train you. And you know that I'm gonna have to come one day. I'm gonna have to come, and you need me. See, that's why I was telling Jaquari, you know, I was reminding him what I did for a living, because it's a whole new different dynamic. Even though they throw the bullshit in there, and it is some bullshit in there, so I'm not denying it. But the thing about it is, sometimes, man, no, all the time, you can disagree with that shit, right? But you're not compromising when you do your job from being law enforcement. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because see, here's the thing. I've saved many young men and women in the course of my job. When I could work it out, in which they didn't have to have a record. They didn't have to do this. They didn't have to do that. Because I understood where they were coming from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I came from there, right? But also because the four of us came from, I know the difference between a predator and circumstances. So I treat the predator. I told somebody before. I said, listen, I do not police black people. I look for the criminal in every community, and I deal with them.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. We all at the age where we understand, man. If you see a young brother, man, with his chest stuck out and talking about what he'd do to a motherfucker, right? We know that's coming from a fear standpoint, man. You know what I'm saying? He wants to establish that I'm a dangerous motherfucker, so don't fuck with me type of mindset and attitude. You know what I'm saying? That's from fear, man. You know what I'm saying? And the unknown. That's where it comes from.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we all old enough to know that everybody ain't that guy, man. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you hear a young brother say, man, I'm a pimp. Dude, if you're a pimp, you've been sitting with me for the last hour and a half. Pimps don't sit that long. Okay? You don't sit that long, so you're not that.
Right.
You might got your female head that's confused about life and don't know how to deal with a real motherfucker. Of the weak, motherfucker.
Look,
Flu,
let me tell you something. That's a good analogy, but I hate that analogy at the same damn time.
Yeah. But it's the truth, but it's the world that we live in. You know what I'm saying?
No,
you know what?
No, I'm with you. I'm riding with you, but I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Our dad, man, our dad taught me something, man. One day, I came home complaining from college and shit, and I'm talking about the institutionalized racism and all that shit. He was like, dude, he said, man, you a man. Why are you worrying about that shit?
Exactly.
I said, Dad, they coming at me, they doing this, and they doing that, and they making me feel this way. He said, I'm gonna tell you this. He said, every room you walk in, watch who looks at you. Yeah. Watch and see who looks at you.
Yeah.
And then you govern your life from that point. You know, you're a black man. You know when the motherfucker has animus against you. That's the motherfucker that you avoid. You know what I'm saying? You know the motherfuckers that admire you. Those are the people that you try to establish yourself with. You have it in you. You know what I'm saying? And don't ever come home again complaining about the bullshit, son. Because I just told you how to control your life. I just told you how to govern your life.
That's the golden moment right now of this conversation, because I know too many people, even at my age and older, that's never actually been cheerleaded in their family like that. And that's something that actually needs to be said to every black man. I think a lot of black men in this world, greatness and uniqueness was taken away from them when they were super young. You had one experience happen that you didn't want nobody else to know about. That's why I always say, every one of us need therapy, because that moment, that thing you got locked in that motherfucking in your cerebrum globum, that shit right there, that's almost like last night with Keith and with Big Dog when he actually said booyah. Inside.
No, silly.
Inside joke. But no, that for me, I saw, we got memes, podcasts all over. But what Damon just said, to be cheerleaded in your family, that's a great start.
Yeah.
From love, school, anything. To be cheerleaded as you being great, it's almost like for me, and this is a good example and a bad one at the same time because I don't really understand this kid. But the Kanye documentary, when his mom actually started reciting his young rhymes, right? In that moment, for me and my mother didn't have that type of relationship growing up. I think subconsciously watching that, it made me actually fall in love with that moment because that's something I wanted from my mom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, look. Let me do this.
Well,
Right?
hey, let me finish this point,
All right,
man. Let me finish this point.
I'm gonna give you a minute because this is about Corey, so we got to get back on track. But go ahead, Damon.
Man,
Hit us in the head.
this is Corey.
Hey, I appreciate the moment, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. Same here.
What I was saying,
mental health is fucking real. Niggas can act and fuck around with it all they fucking want to. Mental health is real. Your health is real. The whole nine. If you plus 50 and you ain't exercising, nigga, get the fuck on the scale.
All right, go ahead, Damon. Yo, you gonna be able to get your shit off, man. But go ahead.
I'm just fucking around, but at the end of the day, it's just me.
Yeah.
Our dad, man, he was the type of dude, man. He'd go up to a certain point, and then he'll let you figure it out for yourself, man.
Yeah.
And what I said,
that's parent.
Right. You know, and as I thought about walking in the room and assessing the situation, I have control over that, man. I have control over that. You know what I'm saying? That's the conclusion I came to. I said, man, damn, he just gave me some information that where I feel hopeless and feel like I'm being, judged and dealing with institutionalized racism and all that bullshit. He gave me a situation where I had control because all I had to do was have awareness.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when I came back to him, this was when years and years later, I came back to him and I said, man, I reminded him of that situation. And you know what he said? He said, damn, man, it took you this goddamn long to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was you are put in a position, man, where you see shit, man, and you might just blow it off or out of anger or ego or whatever. But like he said, man, shit pass by, shit come to you every day. You just have to recognize it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We get to that point again. I'm gonna acknowledge everybody, man. KJ Jones, another pass.
What up, bro?
Pitt.
What up, bro?
You know what I'm saying? Held a Pitt. He's like, he said something about what you said, Damon. He said that's how great ones move, Damon. Here's the plan. Now figure it out. That's coming from the pops, right? Now, Terry. Damn, I said her name. Didn't mean to do that. She gonna cuss me out. Listen, it's interrogation. She said, damn, I shouldn't have said she either. No, I'm just fucking around. But interrogation versus segregation. We thought we had
integration.
We thought we had to integrate, but instead we assimilated, and yet we still are segregated.
Yeah,
that's deep.
I agree with that 1,000%. Yeah.
All right, Corey, I'm gonna give you some meat to chew on there, dog.
Okay.
You said you was I-95 raised, right?
Yeah.
Last night.
That's bro. That's a lot of wisdom.
Your many travels, being a veteran. First of all, I want you to talk about being a veteran. All right.
Yeah.
Then what I want you to move on to is how your different stops, how they influenced, because you spoke on it last night, how they influenced what you ended up becoming.
Yeah.
You dig me?
No doubt.
Yeah, my brother.
Oh, military. Military for me was At that particular time, it was like 89. It was like a stepping stone. At that, you get in so much trouble that you can't figure things out. I hadn't met Big Dog, and then I hadn't met anybody at that particular time. So my beliefs and my understandings weren't parented. They were impregnated by so many different people that, you had to, cipher through what it was, this, that, and the other. But the military was the first place that gave me the ability to actually see the world outside the blinders. Because people, I always say, everybody needs to visit another country and then come back here and tell me how you feel, right? Because at the end of the day, we all run through it like this. Society said we're supposed to be this way. And then all of a sudden, click, click. Oh, shit, it's a left and a right. The world seems so much bigger at this point. And so, again, no slap to anybody or what they believe, but the world is my community. Even being from Brooklyn and being raised I-95 up and down, that's after doing self-inventory on myself and understanding that we live in cliches and we live in one dimension, it forces me to challenge myself in what I was taught and how I move at 53.
Hold on. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. Do that. Say one dimension. You got you can't just slide over that, man. Stop that.
Well, okay. We do 3 dimension, then we do 4 dimension, right? So, and excuse me if I'm doing it disservice, but sometimes I dabble in metaphysical and all this other shit. Sigmund Freud type shit. Just you know what I mean? Because
left brain, brother.
We're taught a lot of shit. So at the end, like I asked you guys the other day, we sneeze, and Jakari gave me the same answer that my sister gave me. You sneeze, and the person say, "Bless you." I said, "Who the fuck told us to do that?"
Yeah.
All we do is give shit labels. They. Who the fuck is they? So it goes back to David for me. Hearing his father actually tell him about his greatness and uniqueness, just hearing that alone, like he said, soon as he walks into a room now, he hears his father's voice. That room ain't got no control over him now.
Yeah.
My bad. I might have got off track, but that's a powerful.
Keep going, man.
Yeah.
Keep that going.
Yeah, that's a powerful entity in the whole metaphysical and the understanding of life that creates peace within us, right? Comes through meditation, comes through eating right, comes through actually controlling your diet, right? So like when the whole Black Lives Matter and everybody was outside screaming, again, these are just thoughts I have outside. These are not opinions or judgments of people. But if I went outside knowing that all I ate was McDonald's, I wouldn't be outside screaming angrily, or I would be, because my mental is not balanced to actually even understand my anger. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So in that sense, we live so one-dimensional, meaning that we just see right now, phones, everything's visual. The second dimension is shadows. You know what I mean? The things that you see out the corner of your eye, this, that, and the other. We don't fuck with them. I studied Islam for a while, and they said that a lot of times human beings see truth, and the first thing they do is distract themselves. Oh, I want to watch some football. Oh, I want to eat something. You ain't hungry. You just see truth right now, and you're not really ready to deal with it. Or not even that you're not really ready. You're not equipped. Because I hate saying that
Good one.
These terms about us, because they're very underdeveloped. When you've been impregnated with so many ideas, so many visuals, you gotta deprogram that shit and then bring in the new shit. Like right now, this is the new shit for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And here's the thing, man. Just to piggyback on what you're saying, Corey. People stay in their safe place, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They stay in their safe place, even though it might go against their constitution. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they try. People are tribal, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what society teaches and what society pushes. to be tribal. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at a kid, a baby, and you see their development and them growing, it has absolutely nothing to do with tribalism. It has everything to do with functionality and all that.
Yeah.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
it's the individual that's raising them. Why it
Yeah.
don't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
right.
back to what you said, Big Dog, about the military. The military for me gave me discipline. I still wake up at 6 a.m. It gave me the sense of what Damon talked about, that you can do any fucking thing. Like regular citizens don't push their brain the way the military forces you to push your brain. Like, you know what I mean? The belief that you had to have in yourself at 18 years old to drive a sub in a fucking square. Come on, man. Ain't no, they like birds, right? The motherfucker, you know how birds actually feel like this, nigga, either you gonna fly or your ass dead, right? That's not a fucking military. Ain't no whole bunch of training, this, that, and the other. You go through boot camp and then you thrown into the fire. That's another shit that actually fucked me up. You tell your kid, don't get into no fights your whole life. And then as soon as they turn 18, you tell them they can go to war? What the Again, it's not me actually saying anything to this. It's just questioning how we as human beings look at ourselves and how we move throughout the day. You know what I mean? So like even Big Dog asking the question that he's asking, my brain automatically says, don't you give out that fucking cliche ass bullshit because you're afraid to actually talk how you talking now, right? You know what I mean? I never had this confidence before until after the military, until after my daughter, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that, like everything I did was almost like emulating what my environment was just to survive. Because I was a 5'9" nigga. It was either stab or shoot a nigga. I'm not doing none of that shit. Fuck that. I'd rather stay away from the motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So you wasn't into sticking and moving, huh?
I mean, if I had to, but my thing was, if I saw some shit that was popping off up the street, like I said, because I didn't have the parenting skills, it made me super visual on what to watch for and what not to watch for. Like I said, I'm 6, 7, 8 years old, getting punched in the face, chest, and body like I'm a grown-ass man by other men. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I can't go to sleep, wake up the next day, and look at life the same way if that happens to me more than 3 or 4 times, right?
Okay. All right. Well, let go ahead, Jaquan.
Now, I think people need to need to consider their completeness, man. Seriously, I mean, conversations I have with people, man, and when they go to that lane, as far as being a complete person, man, people think they got a lot of work to do. That's not really the case, man. If you want to change yourself, all it takes is small tweaks. Small tweaks, man. You to bring about that kind of drastic change, man. You've got to go back to the ages of between 3 and 5, man. When a person's personality is developed, and work all the way back up to I'm gonna be 50 on the 16th, man. You know how much work that is to do. You know how ingrained certain shit is into me.
And you know what, Jaquan? I don't want to interrupt you right there. That's the thing that I actually say to myself that I want to actually break, because I watch a lot of us, not saying you, but I watch a lot of my ancestors get to that type age, and that's what they accept. They don't accept changing anything. They don't accept learning anything else. Everything is bullshit, this, that, and the other. For me, at the end of the day, like I tell people all the time, I ride a fixed gear bike around the city. I smoke a lot of fucking weed. I can't sit on the couch and watch TV and think that shit ain't gonna fucking happen to me. And if you good with that, you good with it. But at the end of the day, living my life in a lie at 50 is just something I can't do. And I don't judge anybody, but it goes back to what Big Dog said about the rooms. I just make sure I put myself in the rooms of people that's either further than I am and where I'm trying to go, or you know what I'm saying, or I'm continuously self-evaluating myself.
I mean, but where do we draw the line, man? Where's the ledge? I mean, because we're in a constant state of I'm a unique person. I'm a unique person, man. But what about being all right? What about being all right with who you are and just
but see here,
occupying your space, man?
I'm
Enjoying what you have with your space.
let me answer that.
You can.
And I'm not saying anything.
So, but let me.
I'm not saying anything about ambition. I'm not saying anything negative about ambition at all.
right.
Okay. Well,
It's just where you are in the moment. You work hard to be wherever you are in whatever particular moment you happen to be in.
Okay.
So
You
do what
So
you can enjoy it.
hey, damn it. Hold on for 1 second. Because what I want you to expand on this, Damon. So I'm gonna ask this question, then let you answer. It's not. Do you think that we're trained inadvertently to think in finality? Is why people settle?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Damon.
Yeah, because that's a society that we live in. That's capitalism, man. What is capitalism about? You know what I'm saying? Me personally, man, when I left my parents' protection, you understand what I'm saying? Even going towards the end of leaving my parents' protection, I realized that I could be a motherfucking monster, man.
Yeah.
Because of what the world was bringing to me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I had to revert back to my parents' teaching and how they raised me to let me know that I wasn't a fucking monster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to reach back and understand my constitution and my consciousness says that, man, you are not what motherfuckers say that you are.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
You
big.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are not what motherfuckers say what you are, and that's what the true evil in the world is. The world telling you that you are not who the fuck you are.
Yep.
What you were put on this earth to be. You understand what I'm saying? All of us could be monsters, man.
Of course.
But in that moment where you are being that, you have to recognize, and that's when you pull back and say, I can't do that. I can't take this.
No doubt. No
Right?
doubt.
Because he don't fucking better.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I have to protect my own. Because he don't know any fucking better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's having awareness, man. And that's having parents, man, that teach you that your only purpose is to survive and make
Be you.
and be who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But see,
You live in a
that's
world
the
where
thing
everybody's telling you to be something else, right?
right.
We live in a world where everybody's telling you to be something else. You go to a grocery store, you're a customer. You go to the hospital, you're a fucking patient. Nigga, I'm a fucking human being. Why the fuck I got all these titles? Like I said, again, this ain't no slap to people. My brain just don't operate in unlogical shit. So when you actually say it to me, it forces me now in this therapy state and understanding that, everything's about peace and love. If you're not talking that, you're pissing down my leg and telling me it's fucking raining.
And you know what? And that's a good point. Because I want to just, I'm going to do one of your numbers, Damon. Piggyback off of what you just said, Corey. Why is it that people have villainized peace and love?
We don't understand it. At least I'll only speak from my standpoint. I never understood it because I never even liked my fucking self.
Listen.
So
let me just say this, and I'm gonna let you finish. Peace and love come from a position of strength. That comes from a position of strength. Now, you could be foolish, right? Or you could be too hard on people to even give up peace and love. But it takes strength either way.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, I never even liked or loved myself because when I was younger, again, the cheerleader in the house was, I think, and it's not even just my household. It was other households of friends of mine, the whole nine. if you never hear in your family, from your family, like, you know, like or love you or nothing like that, right? Like even before I went to the therapist, I never knew fucking saying I'm sorry or I apologize or I love you meant so much to other people. I think throughout my life as a young kid, even as, you know, my early adult years, I discredited a lot of people's feelings because of my experience growing up, if that make any sense.
Got you.
So yeah,
Peace
I
and
never
love.
really liked or loved myself because I never questioned that, right? So imagine a lot of us going through life, jail, prison, this, that, and the other. You never question it, so you don't really know what like and love is. You just running around just throwing it out willy-nilly because you know everybody else like the word hope. You know what I mean? So for me, I had to learn to understand love, and my love that I started to understand was what I wanted to give to people, right? I think we were talking about this the other night, and life is so fucking transactional, right? And for me, that had been my whole life, all my fucking life. That's what, nigga, I'm giving you something, I need something back, right? When I stopped doing that, that was my first sign of actually understanding what love was. Shit, like maybe 3 years ago, right? I never knew what a fucking blessing was. My sister said it to me because we go back and forth. Well, I used to, with the religion thing versus the universe and spiritualness, like, you know what I mean? But everybody has their own thing that they want to actually believe in. You just give respect to it because it all sounds the same and it all moves in the same direction. But she said to me, I was talking to her about doing the podcast, this, that, and the other, and was telling her, you know, the stuff I was trying to garner, this, that, and the fifth, right? So she went out and bought some shit for me. I didn't ask her to fucking do it, none of that shit. She bought me the dope shit that I could actually use for the podcast that I wasn't even fucking thinking that I actually needed or could afford. Afterwards, I said, yo, why you do that? I said, I'm gonna give you the money back. She was like, nah. She said, did you ask for it? I was like, no. She was like, that's what a blessing is. And I was like, oh shit. So a blessing is when somebody actually recognizes you, because in every relationship we have in life, and I know I'm going on, fellas, so tell me to shut the fuck up when
Stop doing that shit.
No.
Stop doing that.
In every relationship we have in life, parents, husband, wife, the whole nine, everybody wants to be seen. Everybody, I don't give a fuck what you say out of your mouth. You want to be seen by that person. That's why we fight for our mother and father's love or their attention. And so that's why we'll be 50 years old and actually saying, my mom or my dad don't, nigga, you ain't done with that yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. When you're
peace, love,
I got 50-year-old friends that still mad at their parents for getting divorced.
Gotcha. I got you.
Peace, love, and the truth, man, are the three most precious commodities in human existence, right?
Yes, they are. I had to learn
is, man, but the catch is that they're free. Peace, love, and the truth don't feed or fill bellies, man. They don't. Conflict is the thing that drives the world, unfortunately.
And that goes back to how we say it every day. You have a choice. So my choice is to actually take my 53-year-old self and not live like the 53-year-olds that I actually saw actually live. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to actually take those changes. I'm going to take in consideration that if every magazine I see says how to please your man or woman, that ain't my responsibility. I got to find out how the fuck to do it. If all of us got that fucking problem, you know what I'm saying? Like, if every magazine's talking about how to please your man or woman, at the end of the day, that ain't my problem. My problem is I got to figure out how I'm supposed to do it. And that's the biggest thing for me in life. Like, that's where love comes into play. The understanding that I have of myself and the confidence I have myself at 53 years old, I've never had in my life, ever.
Gotcha.
Here, this is how strange. This is how strong love is, man. How strange it is, also, man. My dad, this is before he passed, I came to see him. And he was telling me about his health and all this shit, right? And that was the first time I kissed him and I held on to him. You know what I'm saying? The first time in my life, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually he passed. And I sat back and I was thinking about that situation. And I told myself, every man that I love, I'm talking about love on a humanity level. Every man that I love, I'm gonna embrace him, I'm gonna kiss him and tell them that I love them. And there was some cats be like, man, why you do that shit? I said because I didn't have enough time to do it to a man that I loved and admired. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Got you.
And that shit, and cats, you know, they be like, man, why you do that shit? Dude, you gonna get it one day. You're gonna get it one day. Because that love with my dad was not it was expressed when he told me
That's real.
issues he was going through.
Yeah.
And I told myself when I left the house that day, and I recognized that was the first time that I kissed and I hugged and loved my father.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something. What Damon is saying, right? Our father did not have a problem with telling the truth. No matter how much it might kick you in the gut when he says it, right? I was maybe 25. I don't know what happened, Corey. Corey got happy, but he'll be back. I was maybe 25 years old, and he started talking about his mortality. You know what I mean? He started.
My bad, fellas. I don't know what the fuck happened.
You touching shit. That's what's going on. But my dad.
Yo, you see what drugs, Corey, you see what drugs do to you?
That's that weed, man.
Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey.
Drinking that wine, smoking that weed.
Drinking that wine, smoking that. Look, Corey, you ain't think we see you doing this shit?
I know you saw my big ass fingers up there like punching shit.
Yeah. What else supposed to mask?
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I got this from both my mother and my father. The majority of my life, I tell the truth. And you know what, man? Sometimes that hurt the people that I love.
Yeah.
But they know exactly where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Keith, look.
Shit ain't malicious,
Keith,
man.
look.
At the end of the day.
I've told people, man, that you don't mean that much to me for me to lie to you.
Right. Like I don't know you enough to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like
this interaction is not a risk to me.
right.
I can take it or leave it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
If anything, I'm looking at the experience of us talking. It goes back to what I said about the girl from Cornell West at that event, right? I can actually turn to her and just be like a Cornell West supporter and be like this, bitch, you crazy, that nigga, blah, 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 blah. I took myself out of it to actually say, she feels really passionate about what she's saying. And this shit goes a little bit deeper than what I did. So I bought her a coffee and we sat down and I asked her about, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. But like the guy said, I could have took it way, some other egotistical way where I'm judging her now on, that's a black man. What the fuck you talking about?
That dialogue is where growth lives, though, man.
Yes, sir.
That's
and where love lives.
All right, now see, Corey, this how organic and how real this conversation is, because I was looking for a place to make sure we big your situation up, because you're doing some great things, some great personal things, right?
Oh, I appreciate that, big dog.
I want our audience to know. All right, now I'm gonna set it up as best I can.
Yes, sir.
Talk about your series that you're doing. With
Dude.
It's a
couple of them.
Hold on.
Oh, my bad.
You're gonna get your opportunity, dog. It's just what I see. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
And on Instagram. I want
Yeah.
you to talk about those things, right? But here's the segue. You can segue from this. You talked about it last night. Pittsburgh changed everything about you.
Yeah.
Talk about that and then move on into
When I came out of the military, the first place I hit was Pittsburgh. My father was living there at the time. Big factor in there. Shout out Dirty Face Charlie. So me showing up at his door, you know what I mean? I failed in 9th grade. So I was about to fail the fucking 12th grade. So I was like, yo, I'm about to leave the fucking school system and move somewhere else where I can actually like rock this shit out for my last year. You know what I mean? I can't fail fucking twice and shit. Niggas gonna look bad. So
Right.
that was the real reason. That was part of the reason, but then it was, I need money too. So it was like coming there, showing up to my father's door, and then that nigga looking at me like this, open the door, just let me in. But it was like changing things back and forth. But it, again, still fucking around the streets. So fast forward, what we actually talked about before, how I met Dre, Marva, all these different people that lived in Pittsburgh at the time, Ron Monday, Big Dog, Cole, John Monroe, Bugsy, all these people had what you guys talk about, like what Damon says, what Jakari says, what Keith said. They had all these different elements. I didn't, and sis, I love you to death, but I didn't know how to actually love my family and be a brother, right? So I went around. I did the same thing I did as a child. I ran away from home a lot when I was a child. So I ran. That's why I said I'm I-95 raised. I ran up and down I-95 looking for my mother and my father. So meaning that those type of people. So fast forward, that's how I really ran into, when I got to them, that's their ways, their perspectives, this, that, and the other. They didn't know it. I was actually secretly like, you know, with a pen and pad, like, oh, that makes sense. So I was pretty much like that and taking pieces of them. That's why I always say this arm is Amy and this arm is Charles, but the rest of me is all the amalgamation, as my man Kobe said, of all my friends. Like we say about these conversations that we actually have, these conversations shape me the next day, the next week, the next month, right? So that's really how, when I got to Pittsburgh after the military and before, I ran into those type of people, and those type of people were just like the energy that they was giving off. They was feeding me what I felt in the military, which I felt like was like a turning point for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm starting to understand a little bit. Now I'm starting to dismiss certain things. I'm not tied into, like Damon said, the watching the institutional racism. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking for Corey at this particular time. Like, you know? So I get there and meet them, and again, it just went from there.
Okay.
Let me ask you a couple questions.
Ask you a question, Corey, but I want you to get into your art, man, everything.
Please.
Go ahead.
I just want, I mean, first, why? I get the sense, man. Oh,
something else.
He's a hell of a drug. Man, one is a hell of a drug.
Shit keep popping up at the bottom. I hope you didn't forget the question.
Man.
Hey, yo, you don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing else.
Touch shit. Just go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question, Jaquan.
Hey, man. First question, man. As enlightened and as able to articulate your viewpoints and everything as you are, man, I seem to get a sense that you didn't feel like you always had that in you. Is that true?
Nope. Yeah. You're dead on.
Mm. Okay, so was there a particular event that really kind of like stamped who you were to yourself for you?
If I got to go with the first thing, it would be Ofafa. One for all for one. Meeting those brothers, Big Dog, everybody. We was trying to actually curb violence that was happening in Pittsburgh at the time. That shit was happening at an alarming rate. Niggas was moving like they was straight from LA out the state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we was looking for a way to actually try to change that. And again, their perspectives was like things that I had already been asking myself. Like I had already been reading books like The Awakening of Intelligence by like Krishnamurti. You know what I mean? And how our thoughts are not really ours. They're all regurgitated, this, that, and the other. And then I think at the time, Cole was actually eaten in like a vegan type way. And for me, in order for you to really understand yourself or life, you have to change your diet, what you listen to. Everything that's going into your body affects how your mind actually operates. That pituitary gland, that shit's got almost like, if we 50 years old, that shit got a lot of crust on it. If you don't brush that off, you don't think different. You know what I mean? You just sitting there with the cauliflower, pituitary. You know what I'm saying? So it was really around those moments. And then me moving to DC and working with Bugsy, John Monroe. His like thought process, again, the Pittsburgh Connect, the New York Connect, the DC Connect, how all of that actually moved coming from 520 North Negley. Like it was phenomenal because there was like, even when we started, there was people that was laughing at us. You know what I mean? Like, oh, niggas holding up shirts, this, that, and the other. But now it's 20 years, 30 years later, and this shit is still here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think it was Bugsy. It might have been Dre. Somebody actually opened a message to the black man, right? In the first couple pages, it says one for all for one. And that Dre came up with that name before we even saw that book. Like I had read that book several times, as all of us have. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had never seen that shit. And so right there for me, it was like, I'm big into like signs and paying attention to what's going on beneath the surface instead of on top.
Yeah.
So Apopha was like the first turning point, and then my family and my daughter, at the time,
Okay. All right. Well, we at the point of every show, right? Well, also, let me acknowledge KJ had to go run, man. Peace to you, God. You know what I mean? Love you, brother. Corey, I told you I was going to ask you this question today, and gave you at least 12 hours to think about how you were going to answer it.
Yep.
You got the ear. We've done this for the last 5 or 6 shows. You have the ear of the youth, men and women, and what you give them, they're going to receive. What do you think you would want to give them?
Believe in yourself. Regardless of what anybody say, your mom, your dad, anybody, challenge every fucking body. If that shit don't make sense with you, then rock that shit some other way. If you actually don't feel 100% about something, open your mouth. I don't think that a lot of black people actually open their mouths because we'll lose jobs, we'll lose pay. Everything's tied to some other shit. So if I gotta give it and really, to be honest with you, Big Dog, it's not too much that I can really say to the youth because these niggas have actually created their own fucking money called Bitcoin. So what the fuck I'm gonna offer them, and I'm still working a job, and these motherfuckers still, you know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Yeah.
All right, look. Let me just say this to you. I need you to understand. I need everybody else to understand. The generational gap is fictional. Period.
Yes.
You know why? Because we have taught these youth, these young men and women that's thriving today. What we taught them was maybe we didn't teach them where to create whatever cash stream that they're creating. But what we did was we empowered them to being comfortable enough to be themselves.
Oh, no doubt. But my
saying?
thing is, when we come to the older generation, we gotta listen more. If you can't work a fucking remote control to turn the TV on, you need to stop talking about fucking Patti LaBelle and all these other motherfuckers. These kids don't want to hear that shit, man. Like dead ass. And when we start wearing famous footwear, nah.
Stop playing. What the fuck is you talking about? Listen, I understand where you're coming from, so I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
But motherfuckers better know their history. I'm not talking about, moving in the same direction that we moving, but understand your history.
Oh, no doubt.
Here's the thing. Our generation didn't understand our history enough.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 1,000%.
Because what has happened is we have access. Old heads have access on the internet with real fucking info. Think about the information. If we had that shit at 25,
man, come on,
that they got right now. Think about what kind of I think I turned out well. When I say well, I mean fucking well, right? As a human.
Oh, big dog. I don't mean to interrupt you, but it goes back to my thinking again. It's so funny that you just said that. Imagine if we had this or had that the kids have. I don't even answer like that because I try to answer to the kids like I was 25. So when they say, "Oh shit, you had a shotgun put in your face at 25," what the fuck? I ain't never had that before. Then I talk to them at 53 because at the end of the day, they can't relate. Me telling them about my 53-year-old self is not relatable to my 25-year-old self. So I got to be honest with them and actually say, when they ask me that question at 25, was you X, blah, blah, blah? I was like, no, fuck no.
But look. We in the same book. So I'm not disagreeing with you. But guess what? We both have the same responsibility to meet each other in the middle. You understand what I'm saying to you? I don't like it when people, older cats who got wisdom, say you got to go meet them there. No, they got to come too. It got to be in the middle.
But big dog, we're asking them to do something that we as 50 years old, not you guys, but 50-year-old men just learned how to do. So it was like, okay, me being in a relationship and coming from where I came, I was asking women for things that they couldn't provide because they wasn't from the environment that I was from. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's the same way with kids. Like, I see you at 21. I see you at 25. You don't look. I go to bars, right, and I sit and I listen to kids' conversations when I'm having a drink or something like that. Yo, all of them sound just like our fucking days. I was like, yo, it's fucking Groundhog Day in there. This nigga plotting on pussy. This motherfucker ain't good.
That's my point, Corey. That's my point. We all have something to talk about with each other. But when we convince ourselves that there's a gap, if there's a gap between us, right? Now we believe that we don't have shit to talk about.
Yeah.
You think about it, man. Think about the 90s, right? Think about the fucking 90s. What we're doing right now mirrors the 90s. Come on,
shit would have been crazy.
So no, but the point I'm trying to make, I don't want it to say, that my way is right. What I'm saying is,
no.
Understand to be able to talk to somebody younger is to understand that I have more in common than I don't have in common with. That's all.
But big dog, like I said, when I first met you, you was different. So even as an older man, I latched on to you and your perspective and your thought and how you actually move. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always say it's no age to when you actually get it, but you got to go through it to get it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Last thing I'm going to say, because you my man. Think about it. You just said that I was different when we met. I agree. I agree. But what did I do? I built on that foundation as a person.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. I just built on that foundation. That's it. Look,
but if
I don't like giving my resume to young guys.
Right.
I don't like that shit.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to.
I was this, I was that, I was so.
You don't have to.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, dog.
You don't have to do that. I mean, because you're still the same. The conversation, the questions that you ask, again, you actually challenging people's beliefs. And again, that was, for me, the latch on, because at the time, if I had a conversation with you, it sounds just like right now. You actually dip, and that's why I love the title of it. And I keep saying the strong perspectives, because at the end of the day, life is about perspectives, man. So if you're around people who, just like Dre said, the young girl that was actually thinking everybody went to jail until she started to realize that everybody didn't go to jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same way with us eating. I was on a corner one day and I was sitting there watching a girl. She was in a Mercedes and she was eating McDonald's. And I was like, yo, she put premium gas in her car and put garbage in her body. Ain't that a bitch? No, again, no judgment, just watching the psychosis of us as human beings. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm only doing that to watch myself, to say, because anything I see, I could be the same shit.
Great fucking point, Corey. Great point. Great point. All right, well, look.
So I just want to lend understanding to it. Like, even now, talking to my daughter about death, like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, her father's not going to be here. So it's just like me having this conversation right here with you guys. She's always going to remember that conversation. I remember when my dad was on there with Big Dog and said the other. She's not crying, because at the end of the day, I'm gone. But what I left her was these words, the comicalness, the this, the that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might not have left you no whole bunch of, no millions, but at the end of the day, if somebody mentioned my name, my daughter's going to smile. And that, for me, is priceless.
Let your name ring out with your family. That's
Yep.
it. Yo, this is what we're going to do, because we're getting to the point where we got the strong, speak on the strong with Damon, right? But we got interrupted. I want you to let them know what you're doing as far as Photoleer, as far as Ofafo.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, everything.
Hey, no, and give the websites everything, brother.
Yeah. www.ofafo1995.com, at Photoleer. It's a bunch of different shit that I'm actually working on with a lot of different people, but I'm trying to be,
if you got it, let us know, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to be honest with it. So I got Combo Over Food, where I'm a home cook, so I love to cook. And that came from almost like this right here, actually preparing a meal for people and having a great conversation just about life, mental health, death, all the shit that we experience just as human beings, pandemic, the whole nine. I had my girl Tina on it first, and she talked like she does it lactation. So she actually spit this shit that I was like, she said that there's babies that will not know people without masks. And that shit kind of fucked me up, because I was not thinking it.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, back to the mask thing. I just want to say this, though, Big Dog, you guys. You know what's funny? When the mask came, I think for me, I paid attention to the elitism of the world, Mercedes, clothes, Ferragamos, blah, 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 blah. When all of us had to wear the mask, for me, it took that away. So only thing I saw was a human being with a fucking mask on at that particular time. And I told it to my daughter, and she started to like look around, and she was like, I think, because for me, I find comfort in realizing that elitism is a thing that we've made up, right? Because like we think we're bigger than what we are, all of us.
You got to believe in it for it to even be real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's
yeah.
it. You know?
Yeah.
All right, well, look, I'm going to come back to you, Corey, but Damon, we're going to give you your segment, man. Give us a strong 2-3 minutes, brother. You're on mute, my man.
I just came on here fucking up the whole live. What the fuck?
How you fucking up?
No, that's me.
Like the car said,
I'm fucking up.
Well, you don't touch shit else.
Yeah, hey, I was you before you was you. So
go ahead, Damon.
Here's the thing that I'm thinking about, man. Where I'm at in my life right now, man, is that, you know, in terms of being humble, you know what I'm saying, humility is a strong thing, man.
Yeah.
Because it requires you to look deep within yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot fucking deal with anybody else unless you Know thyself, man. Know thyself. You know what I'm saying? You know thyself, then you can deal with the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have patience. I am so fucking patient, man, in my life. If a young cat talk with me, man, I just want to get high and do this and all that shit. I'm not coming with no motherfucking drama. I'm not judging because I got high.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I had to go through my maturation process, man. I had to go through that. I had to go through my pain, anguish, and shit I had to deal with in life, which brought me to the point I am in my life right now. I'm short to anger. I'm short to anger because if I'm talking to a motherfucking cat across from me and you're talking about some shit and I recognize some of the shit he say, how can I judge him? Because I did it too. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I can say is, bruh, survive this fucking thing we call life, man, and you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. But when you get it and you recognize it, pass that shit on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pass that shit on without judgment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I am so we talked about love, man, earlier in this podcast. We talked about love. There are so many people, man, that's passed on that I miss. That I had the privilege to be in their life days before they passed. And the messages they gave me, it's like, what can I I wish I had time.
Yeah.
Was the main message that they gave. I wish I had time to do this and do that. And as I went through the struggles in my life, I did not want to have to make that statement to anybody that I love. I wish I could do that.
That's a huge accountability.
So I'm constantly thinking about how I can be better in spite of what the world brings me. How I can be better because that only involves me. Nobody else can touch that.
What's the saying?
Nobody else can touch
nobody can touch whatever God got intended for you.
God put you here for a reason.
Yeah.
And you have to work through this where we at right now here on this fucking earth, on this planet, is a learning experience to be the best we could be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be the best we could be. Somebody can come at you, man, and tell you how fucked up you are. And they might have it might be some truth to it.
Yeah.
But how you respond to that in terms of being a better human being is that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that is nobody else's experience but yours.
Yeah. That's your uniqueness and that's your greatness.
Right. So is there a person on this planet that don't have a fucking purpose, man?
No. Everybody got a purpose, dog.
Yeah.
Everybody does. You know what I'm saying? So if we can get to a place where we can respect that and have patience and be real with ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Letting go of the ego shit. And damn, dog, this would be a utopia. This would be a better world.
No doubt.
That's why I start with this right here.
Right. But that's why I recognize that I can't go out and say shit that I'm not living.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that comes with wisdom.
Yeah.
That comes with experience. That comes with humbleness. You understand what I'm saying? And can't nobody fuck with that.
Yeah.
That's you, personally.
That's real.
And then you communicate with God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You go before God and you say, man, my life was this and my life was that. And God would say, you know, you was part of the problem because you didn't recognize what was in front of you. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame anybody because you're born by, unless you're a twin, you're born by yourself and you die by your fucking self. You're responsible for who you are. You're responsible for that. You're responsible for the fucking pain you put out in the world. You're responsible for the love you put out in the world. And I don't know any fucking body, man, from being born that's evil.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Your environment makes you evil. But if you're strong enough and you have awareness, you know that you don't have to contribute to that evil, man. You just have to be who you are and recognize your fucking weaknesses, man. Because every man that's born wants to be a motherfucking man. But what type of man you trying to be?
Yeah. That's a great question.
Yeah.
What type of man you want to be? Because if your life was fucked up, you know what pain feels like.
Right.
You gonna give pain back to it?
Yeah. Fuck that. I've done that too.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you have to make a decision. I live my life, man, through my humility, man, because I recognize my mistakes and I recognize the people that I hurt.
Yeah.
I recognize it.
Okay. Let me just say this to you. I'm going to ask you this question, Damon. 30-second response, right? The way that you think, did you begin there or did you come up with it over time?
It happened over time, man. And it happened, and it came to me recognizing my faults.
Okay.
Recognizing the pains that I caused. You know what I'm saying? Do I want to be that motherfucker? I don't. I want to be somebody. I want when I'm dead and gone, I want people to remember me at least as a good fucking human being.
All right, look, I'm gonna stop you right there, right? Because I want the last words. We're gonna start with Jaquari, and we're gonna come to you, Corey. We're gonna sandwich you in between Damon and Jaquari. Last words, spoke.
Last words, man. Like the human collective, man, has an agenda, you know, and it works against who you are as a person. It does. That's just the way that society is set up. You know, you've got to find your happy medium, man. You've got to find your happy medium and understand that, you know, the race, man, the race is never over. But it's not a competition, you know, that's going to pull us under. It's not a life or death situation, man. Becoming who you are in your own personal space. It's not a life or death situation. You know, we have room to be who we are when, you know, we figure out how to navigate, you know, our situations.
Yeah.
You know, that being said, Corey, I appreciate your time, brother. You know, it's been a hell of a show. Says you dropped a bunch of jewels on us, brother.
And, I appreciate that, my dude. You dropped some on me, man. Like again. Whew.
Corey.
Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey, you're an artist and you sensitive about your shit, right?
Hello.
David, I'm glad you said that. Yep. That's exactly right, man. I mean, well, it's just it's personal because at the end of the day, I just want other people to make it personal for them. But you know, my last words is love, man, all the time. Like you can't, again. The one thing that motherfuckers can't stop is love. You can go through whatever experience you go through in life, this, that, and the other. You can either love or fucking hate. And hate will eat your ass to death. Love is just gonna let you blossom.
Hey, hate make you die early.
Man, you better say it. I used to tell my daughter, I was like, you know, your dad used to have a black heart. And she was like, what? I was like, I didn't know how to feel for people. Because I didn't even know how to feel for myself. So I was like, as that shit started to actually come like some Disney movie and shit, the shit started to like peel off like the motherfucking Grinch that stole Christmas. And the next thing you know, I had a red heart and shit. That was some bullshit. But that's what I told her. But that's how I felt.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, Damon. Give us. I want 30 seconds. I don't want no 50 seconds, dude.
They gonna be talking
Hey,
shit.
Keith. Hey, Keith, you ain't the boss of me, man.
We not
Unless you turn off my camera, then I can't do shit.
Bless us, man, because like I said, we've been an hour and a half with this, man, and it's been fucking great.
No, here it is, man. For me, man, I listen and I pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And I try to figure out in my own humbleness, man, to figure out how to fit in. Some people gonna like that about me, and some people is not gonna respect this shit.
Yeah.
That's not my issue to deal with.
Right.
That's their shit.
Right.
I'm gonna be who I am, and I'm gonna sustain my growth and move in that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna let other people decide. You know what I'm saying?
Whether they want to be there or not.
Right.
Okay. My last word is another great episode, baby. Well, I love.
I appreciate you guys so much, man.
Hey,
you have no idea. This shit gonna run for me like 6 months.
Corey, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
6 months, that's a blessing, bro.
Oh, no doubt. Like I tell people all the time, before the pandemic, the conversations I was having with people was making me feel whole. When it actually, the pandemic came and it made us isolate, it sort of felt like being in a hole or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Where now I got to deal with my own thoughts, and at that particular time, my thoughts wasn't like really pure and like wholesome. Like, you know what I'm saying? People talking to me like you guys be doing tonight is the perspectives. That's why I'm so happy that Ofafa has actually come back, because the conversations that we have with each other, that's the shit again that gives me the 6 months, the year, this, that, and the other. Gives me what Damon said, the confidence to actually move throughout and feel. Like Jakari said, you know, you speak well to what I am. It's because of Ofafa. It wasn't anything else. Because at that particular time, I didn't know how to say shit.
No, look, you ain't know how to say shit without a dagger. You know what I'm saying? Listen, this is what who?
Somebody partying.
Look, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. I want to thank everybody for
Well,
tuning in,
my shit's starting to break up now.
You know what I'm saying?
I was doing good.
Look. Hey, we're gonna be back here next Friday.
Liquor's a powerful drug.
I know, man. Thank you, Corey, man. We appreciate you, brother.
My God.
Appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah. Till next time, man. And I need y'all on my shit when I actually put this shit together.
No doubt. You know
Yeah.
that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hold on,
Look,
hey, Corey. Hold on while we done, right? Just hold on for a second.
No doubt.